Are you a real estate agent, realtor, investor, or are you in the real estate business and you need new listings and deals? We have a solution for you, and that solution has guaranteed results. How much would you pay to get face-to-face with a homeowner that wants to sell their home? What if you also got their email address and daytime phone number? And what if this homeowner also scheduled you to come to their door at a set time to meet with you? Sound too good to be true? It isn't. And it is 100% guaranteed for you to meet face-to-face with a real homeowner who really needs to sell their home. Not only will you get this remarkable contact system and its 100% guarantee, at no additional charge, you will get weekly coaching, documents, and training on how to get that homeowner and convert them into a new listing. When you purchase, you'll also get a one-on-one walkthrough so that you can start using the system today. Visit www.thelistingmonster.com. That's www.thelistingmonster.com. Or call Diana Ortiz at 213-706-0040. Stop wasting time the old way. Use a monster and get actual results today.
Welcome to the Honish Report, hosted by Lee Honish. The Honish Report is a look at the real estate market and creating effective marketing plans for realtors or investors to get new listings and deals. Your host, Lee Honish, has over 20 years of experience in real estate, banking, and marketing. Over the last 6 years, Lee has developed cutting-edge marketing and was named one of the most innovative marketers in America. With over 1 million views, Lee continues to be an advocate for the entire real estate community. Enjoy today's show.
Good morning, everybody. This is David-Bartels filling in for the great Lee Honish, who has so nicely allowed me to take over his weekly webinar here. He invented the Monster Marketing Program, and he and I collaborated to come up with the Advocate marketing system. Many of the things that I'm going to talk about here today were inspired by Lee and something and really began a process of us taking that Monster program and elevating it into something that we call the Advocate marketing system, and where Monster is really focused on getting face-to-face with homeowners who have a high probability of listing their house. Advocate marketing system is really more about the conversion process and turning those face-to-face meetings into listings. And for those of you who don't know me, I'll take a minute and tell you a little bit about me. I am the founder of Home Loan Advocates, which is what we think the largest short sale negotiation company in the world. We get hired to do short sale negotiating by realtors all over the country, and we're famous for taking dead deals and turn them into commission income. We work with any kind of complex distressed property transaction, and 72% of the time, we have figured out how to get the bank to pay our fee, so it doesn't even cost anybody any money in order to hire us to expertly negotiate their transactions. I also own a real estate franchise company and part owner of Behringer Escrow, and all these companies work together in order to do a lot of transactions. So I did 136 transactions last year in 2016. We expect to do more than that this year. And for those of you that are wondering if distressed properties are dead, I would say not if you're looking for them. And I do about 30% of my transactions are short sales. About 4% of our market is distressed property, and about 30% of my listings are distressed property. We like them. We find them easy to get when we're in a competitive situation, and we find them to be much more profitable than traditional transactions. I like them more than any of the other things that we do, and we focus on distressed properties week in, week out, and they are an important pillar of our business. So I want to kind of get into the Advocate marketing system. I'm going to start with kind of a preview of getting face-to-face, and then we'll get into some of the conversion techniques, and I'm going to do my very best in order to get to the end of this in less than an hour. and so we can all get back to work. So advanced conversion techniques are really, it's really about getting face to face. So it starts with getting face to face with potential sellers, and whether or not you're coming at this from a realtor or an investor, the primary objective is to beat everybody else to the transaction. So we want to get face to face with the home sellers. The reason that I like distressed properties so much to do this, the reason is really simple, and that is that most realtors don't want to deal with it anymore because there's too much of a headache and there's too much other opportunity out there. So there's not that much competition as much as there used to be for these kind of transactions. That's number one. And number two, and maybe even more importantly, people who are facing a notice of trustee sale. That's what we call a foreclosure in California. People who are facing a notice of trustee sale have a very high probability of listing their house within the next 20 or 30 days. And so we like getting face to face with these people. We like being able to help them with their problem, and we like being able to assist them with transitioning out of the house when that becomes obvious. That's the last opportunity. But you got to stand out in a crowd. I mean, whether or not you're a realtor or an investor, this is primarily for realtors, are really struggling with creating differentiation in the way they do business. I mean, when in California, 1 out of 95 adults is a licensee. In other words, everybody knows somebody who's got a real estate license. And so we've got to create some method to differentiate ourselves from the crowd and to stand out of the gobbledygook of options that people have. And we find that we don't want to just be another realtor. We want to be somebody who cares. I mean, I love the example of Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, hashtag ninja in a blazer. But that's really what advocate marketing is about. We don't want to be just another realtor. We want to be someone who really cares about the seller. And that's where the advocacy part of this program really comes from. We want to identify people who are really struggling with maintaining their home, and we want to be a presence that cares. And caring doesn't mean that we don't sell their house, and caring doesn't mean that we work for free. Caring means is that we take our fiduciary responsibility to a seller seriously, and we do everything that we can do to assist them achieve their objective. And many times achieving their objective is figuring out how to keep their house for a short period of time or for a long period of time, which means in a lot of cases just getting a loan modification. And then when we attempt to get a loan modification, or we help them attempt to get one, and it turns out that they can't get one, then they're left with one other choice, and that's to sell their house. And we generally find ourselves assisting them with that process as well. So if you want to focus on this competitive opportunity that you have by merit of there being a lot less competition, you want to focus on notice of defaults, and you want to focus on notice of trustee sales. This is really where we want to focus our attention. And it doesn't matter what state you're in. If you're coming at this, from a perspective of identifying people who are highly likely to list. Now, I have a FSBO program too that I do, where in the FSBO program, the reason that we like FSBOs is the same reason we like notice of defaults and notice of trustee sales. Is because we know FSBOs have a 70% likelihood that they're going to list with a realtor within 30 days. And for the same reason that a FSBO is a good prospect, a notice of default client is a really good prospect. And I don't know what the percentage of them that end up actually listing, but I do know that there's a lot less competition for a notice of default listing than there is for a for sale by owner listing. And those are better than the expired listings. So, and all of them are better than going door knocking in a farm. All right. Now, I have one rule and one rule only, and one of the reasons that I like this monster marketing program so much is that I only want to work with warm prospects. I only want to work with people who want to do business with me. I don't want to go cold calling. I don't want to beg. I don't want to crawl. I don't want to manipulate. I want people to raise their hand and indicate that they have an interest in getting some assistance. And then I help them with all the ability that I have. And so step one of distress marketing, distress property marketing, is to get homeowners to call you directly. And so it starts with a data source. So the data source is notice of trustee sales. This is our preference. And you can get this from your title company. You can probably get this from Zillow if you want to do the work. We use Realty Track and or Property Radar. Those are our two favorite sources. Now, there are lots of sources out there, and the truth is you can use any of the data sources you want. So we're looking for three criteria. We're looking for people who already have a notice of trustee sale. And the reason that we do that is that in California, we know that from when they get a notice of trustee sale, they're 21 days or so from foreclosure, and they have to do something. Number two is that we don't want it to be listed. If it's already listed, we take a pass on it. And number three, we don't want them to be in bankruptcy. If their reason for their foreclosure postponement is bankruptcy, then they've already lawyered up in most cases, and it's a much less likely probability of being able to get the listing. So we focus on these three criteria for identifying data. Then we go out and deliver a label, not a package. We have a package that we deliver. So here's what I want you to do. So you put your list together, and my recommendation is that you do 15 or 20 tags on a Monday and 15 or 20 tags on a Tuesday. And it really is a sticker that an Avery label that you go to the door with, and you stick it to their door. It's not more complicated than that. So you get into your car, you drive to the first stop that you're going to. You've identified, say, 20 people who meet the criteria of having a foreclosure date, of not being listed, and not being in bankruptcy. We go to their house, we take the label, we put it on our pants. This is important. We put it on the pants, it gets some lint on it, and then we put it on their door. Some people put it on the garage, some people put it on the outside of the mailbox. You decide where you're going to do it, and you place it on their residence where they're most likely to see it. The reason you put it on your pants first is not for good luck, okay? The reason you put it on your pants first is that you don't want it to become a permanent label. You don't want their first impression of you to be a permanent label. So stick it on their door, and then you leave. It's that easy. You don't knock on the door. You don't try to have an interaction with them. That's an advanced technique that some people do. But for those of you that are just getting started out, or those of you that don't want to have awkward face-to-face contacts, just leave the label. It has an 800 number on it that they're going to call. It has a tracking label on, which I use the APN, and you leave. Everybody can do that, okay? Anybody can do that. They don't call you. They call a call center. So we hire a call center to handle our calls. Having a call center handle my calls costs an average of $80 or so a month. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's a little more. $80 or so a month. And here's what they do. And they set the appointment for you. So somebody calls into the call center, and the call center is going to answer with this message. You have a delivery from a homeowner advocacy group with information about getting your loan modified and other foreclosure avoidance options. The package must be delivered directly to the homeowner and cannot be left at the door. The package can be delivered. You state the dates and times it can be delivered. You know, if you only want to deliver package, if you only want to meet homeowners face to face on Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m., you say that, and that's when they set the appointments. If you only want to do it on Saturday mornings, that's when you do it. You set the times that you want to do the deliveries around your life and your lifestyle. Okay? The package will be delivered within 2 hours of their requested time. And then we also ask, would you like to receive our alternatives to foreclosure flyer with your appointment confirmation? Some people say yes, some people say no. When they say yes, we also get their email address and we send them an email confirmation. So all you're doing literally is, think about this. You're creating a list.